And we're out the range today. We have another high point historical firearm. This is the Iberia Firearms in .40 Smith & Wesson. Iberia was one of the suppliers that originally produced high points before High Point just acquired them outright. This one's still marked Iberia. It's in .40 Smith & Wesson. This is actually a brand new in the box firearm. It's never been fired. So I'm going to go ahead and take shots. This will be its first shots ever, so we'll see what it does. Trigger is the standard heavy-duty trigger. The slide does not lock back on these earlier firearms. Overall, it's not horrible. Whew.
Range is hot. Dang it. Ah, there we go.
And we're off the range today with another throwback for High Point. This is the Iberia Firearms in .40 Smith & Wesson. Iberia was one of the manufacturers that made the firearms that were marketed and sold by High Point before High Point just acquired them. This one is chambered in .40 Smith & Wesson. Iberia made the large caliber versions, so they made the .45 versions, the .40, things like that. Stallard Arms made the 9mm and .380 versions. So this is there again. It's kind of like the Soviet-built big, blocky, heavy chunk of metal. I have to say the finish looks different on it. It looks a little bit more high school metal shop looking. Yeah. I mean, it's even more blocky if you can kind of, imagine that. Heel release, no last slide hole open, simple blowback operation.
No sexy additions to that slide.
No sexy additions to this slide at all.
Basic as basic can be.
Basic, yep, as basic as it can be. It's got some machining in it to make some, grips so you can pull it back. What do you think overall?
You said it well. It's very basic gun. It went back to the old High Point that I don't like, the big clunky head. Felt all right. It wasn't as bad as the newer High Points as far as aesthetics, how it fits in your ergonomics, I guess is the right word. Very basic gun. I didn't like a very loose, sloppy safety. I had accidentally just barely touched it with my my offhand shooting, and it just went up a little bit, and it won't, it cuts you off. Yep. It's very sloppy in there, a lot of play. So, as you kind of would expect from a basement bargain company. So, and
this one, it's not that it was worn or anything. This was first time being shot. It's an old firearm, but it's brand new in the box. Yep. And the slide, it rattles in there. It's just
wobbly.
It's a function of the mechanism itself. So, but overall, it functioned. We still had some rack and issues and stuff. There again, it is new. It would wear in a little bit more. I would still prefer something like this over the newer High Points just because it's all metal. I just think that's better than the polymer frames. Nothing against polymer frame pistols. I mean, everyone, Glock, all that kind of stuff, they're all polymer frame these days. But it's like the plastic High Points use. It's it's more like toy plastic.
Am I wrong to think that the action on a high point is more violent than
Yes.
just, what's that called? I can't think of the...
This is just a direct blowback.
Direct blowback, yes.
So the action is a lot harder, so it's
More
harder on the
violent.
frames, as opposed to any type of a delayed blow, or a delayed recoil operated, or tilting barrel, Browning link, whatever. So that is true, it's harder on the frames.
Yeah.
But you know, there again, you're not going to run into these very often. They're not on the shelves. When you find one, they're just kind of used gun case. I wouldn't be afraid to get one. It would be hard for this to actually like ever just break. I mean, they're very industrial. However, there again, it's still a low-end budget firearm, so just be aware of what you're getting.
Something we didn't say about all the high points we talked to, there is no concealed carry option in a high.
Not really, no.
They try to make the
C9,
grip,
yeah.
they make the C9 grip a little bit less, but it's such a wide, I mean, you'd be printing all over the
Yes.
place. It's just, there's no option for it to be a CCW unit.
Even the small ones are big.
Yes.
And they're big and bulky and they're heavy. Your pants will always be sagging. But they are what they are. Still fun. Almost every gun's fun at the range. So let us know what you think if you have one of these. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up there. So until next time, stay safe.